Welcome back, Earthlings. Today we are embarking on a whimsical journey through the enchanted forest of Anxiety Land, a place inhabited by a staggering number of humans worldwide. Anxiety Land is fraught with perils, be it orgs called work stress, gremlins named personal relationships, or the giant called global woes. It sometimes feels as if these creatures of worry have invaded your life. But have you ever wondered who invited them in the first place? In this episode of Dose of Brilliance, we will be meeting 9 quirky culprits that are feeding your anxiety and arm you with 9 tricks to outwit them. So grab your imaginary swords and buckle up because here we go. Culprit number 1, Mr. Overcommitment. Picture this. You are a plate spinner in a circus, except that each plate is a task or responsibility. You start with 1, and then 2, and then 5, and before you know it, you're trying to keep hundreds of plates spinning in the air. Soon enough, the plates start to crash down, and you start pulling out your hair. That's Mr. Overcommitment for you. You can defeat this boss level by learning to say no, and taking time to enjoy a hot bubble bath or even just a nice cup of tea. Culprit number 2, Miss Negative Self-Talk. Imagine a parrot perched on your shoulder constantly squawking, "You can't do this," and "You're not good enough," and "You're going to fail." It's hard enough to focus on anything positive with that going on. Thankfully, with a little bit of mental training, you can turn that parrot into a cheerleader that squawks, "You've got this," and "Look at you go." Culprit number 3 is the overstimulation monster. Imagine trying to go to a rock concert, a firework display, and a carnival all at the same time. Sounds like sensory overload to me, and that's the overstimulation monster for you. Keep this monster in check by turning off your notifications, dimming the lights, and swapping out that 5th cup of coffee for maybe a calm herbal tea. Culprit number 4, the Avoidance Phantom. Have you ever played hide and seek with a toddler who thinks he's invisible just because he's covered his eyes? Well, that's you trying to avoid the situation that makes you anxious. But guess what? They still exist. Face those situations with your eyes wide open and watch that phantom dissipate like a mist in the morning sun. Culprit number 5, the Clutter Gremlin. Picture your living room after it's been hit by a whirlwind of clothes and books and dishes and who knows what else. That is the chaos the Clutter Gremlin thrives in. Chase this little critter away by cleaning up your space and you might just find peace of mind under that pile of laundry. Culprit number 6, Sir Perfectionism. Imagine setting out to bake a simple chocolate cake and ending up trying to recreate Stalin's chapel on top of it. Well, that's Sir Perfectionism, setting unreachable standards. Beat him at his own game by setting achievable goals and cutting yourself some slack when things don't go exactly as planned. Culprit number 7, the Catastrophicizing Dragon. Picture this. You see a small little spider. Tiny little thing, eh? And suddenly you're convinced that you're in the middle of an arachnid invasion. That's the Catastrophicizing Dragon blowing things out of proportion. Slay this dragon by reminding yourself to breathe and take things one step at a time. Squash that little booger and move on with your life. Culprit number 8 that could be causing your anxiety. The sleep deprivation gnomes. Have you ever tried functioning after pulling an all-nighter? You know, when your brain feels like a bowl of mush and you're grumpier than a bear disturbed during hibernation? That's the work of the sleep deprivation gnomes. Send them packing by setting a strict bedtime for yourself and sticking to it and creating a tranquil sleep environment. And culprit number 9 that could be causing your anxiety is the isolation ghost. Have you ever felt like you're lonely in a crowded room? Well, that's the isolation ghost whispering in your ear. Tell it to take a hike by reaching out to your friends and families and joining social activities. Who knows, you might even meet someone who has had their own encounters with these culprits. Remember, a little anxiety is just part of the adventure, but when the forest seems too thick, there's no shame in seeking help from the wise wizards of healthcare and mental health services. And if you have found this episode enlightening or enjoyable or funny or whimsical or fun, then do not forget to wave your magic wand, click that magic button, and share this with all the fellow adventurers in your life. And keep exploring our enchanted forest for more enlightened tales. Thanks for joining us on Dose of Brilliance.